I've got my fish held by the screw and the adjustable holding device at this end and supported on the tail, so I can really get at the top here. We're going to sneak up on it. We're not going to go for the hole straight away, but I'm going to start by putting a line here on both sides and around, being a little bit generous. Right, so I've got a line there. So that is my rough hole that I'm going to dig, and it's, am I happy that it's on the spine? No, I'm just going to move this over a little bit. I'll just take that off with an eraser. Make sure that end is right. So that's smack in the middle of the line there. So what this line does is it sort of tells me more or less where I'm aiming for. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to start basically making a mortise joint. So right down the middle here, I'm going to take out some of that centre wood. I'm going to start with a little groove here that's stopping short at each end. So I'm going to play this very much by ear. So now I'm going to start with something a little bit deeper. I'm going to start taking this back here, but stopping short of the line. So I'm well within the line at the moment. And what I'm first of all going to get is what I think is the depth. Then I can use a bent gouge like this to take out some of that waste here. So I'm hollowing a channel, like so. A little bit nearer. So this depth now is pretty much the depth here. Bear in mind that this is curving like this back, so it's going to be a little bit deeper in the middle. So having got that, roughly the depth, I'm going to start trimming up this line here with a chisel on the, I can use a chisel on the this convex side here, just dressing up that line, but stopping short. I still don't go up to the line. And on this side, I use a flat gouge, perhaps even if I've got a wide flat gouge. Yep, so that gets that. So dressing up this wall. So I'm leaving about 1 millimetre at the moment, 32nd, just not. Okay, take some more of that out. Now let's tidy up these ends. Now, this is a curved end at the top. So I'm going to use this tool, again a little bit shorter. Marry that in. And also at this end, or two. So that's a number 9 there. Now, this hole should be too small, too narrow. That's what I want at this stage. Let's see how we're going. So, right, yeah, too narrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dress one face accurately and then adjust the other so that it fits. So I'm going to start again on this one, I think is the trickiest one. So right up to my line now. It doesn't matter that the bottom of this trench is curved. It's not a proper mortise joint, it doesn't have any strength, it's just really a space to hold this fish. Sorry, the dorsal fin of the fish. It doesn't have a functional joint like a proper mortise and tenon. So don't worry about the bottom. So, yes, that's... I want to make sure that that face fits nicely. So there's a little bit here, a little bit of a trim to do there. Oops. So this edge here fits this edge nicely there. Pretty good. And then I can now redraw this edge here. Start trimming that back with the chisel. That's close. Now I just want to pay a little bit of attention to the ends here. So that's there. It's very much a case of sort of sneaking up on it. I think that's the important thing, is not to rush this. Let's see how we are with that. close. Okay, so I think I can trim a tiny little bit off this edge. You can see that it's, we're nearly in there. See how it's starting to, that bit's already in. So I'm looking down and I'm looking for little areas of where it's tight, where it isn't, and so on, just so that I can quietly take the shavings away, just really little shavings, and sneak up on it. Make sure that we've got to make sure that these walls are straight down and not with any sort of bulge in them. Make sure that's what's tempting, which you've got to be very careful not to do, is to, those last shavings, just take off, I'll just take off a bit more, and eventually you've taken off too much. So that's why I'm doing really carefully and slowly, because I don't want to see this join when I've finished. There you go, that's a nice snug fit. So what I've got to do now is glue that into place. I'm going to use ordinary woodworking glue here and put a load in here, along the edge especially. So I'm going to put some along here as well. Okay, and then make sure that goes in. So it's a little bit proud. Yep, a little bit proud. Then I can cut all those off when we're done. So I've got a nice tight fit all around. I use a bit of damp rag just to take off excess. If your fish, if this is a little loose, what you can do is you can get a couple of elastic bands like this around the fish, just to make sure that's held in position. I don't think I need them, but that's just to show you that that's a good way of clamping that. And we'll let that go dry, and then we can marry that shape in and finish that off. Now the fin's really nicely fixed in there, I start merging this in at the back end particularly, by just removing some of that flat wood. Like so. And on this side too. So that should disappear pretty much into the spine of the fish there. That's what we want. So this merges in nicely. So check this, and again at the front edge you'll want to remove a bit of wood here. Make sure that's nicely rounded. So this end is quite hard, this end is sort of merging, and when you've got that sorted, you can go back to sanding this whole thing, especially along here where the glue might have affected it. If there's any slight gaps in the join there, then that'll fill with wax later on. The other thing you can do is to get another little template. A little former, you can make the pen like that, tip of a pen, and you can use that in here like this. I tend to use whatever I've got available to help me with my sanding. And then that's heading down there like that. So when this is all finished, we can turn to the side fins.